We've been exploring what it means to be human or to be real, with the possibility that this will lead us to the experience of recognition of what we do without actively doing or trying. In far-off India, there was a small village that was occupied by Brahmins, those members of the priestly caste, and all of the members of that community kept the laws and tenets and the rituals of their faith religiously. And amongst those rituals, there was in every home a fire pit in which there was kept going a flame perpetually. But there was an occasion when in one household the youngest daughter-in-law needed to pass water during the night. But she was afraid to go out for fear of the wild animals that abounded when everyone was sleeping. So she came and passed water in the ritual flame. In the morning, when everyone awoke, they were very surprised to find that there was a gold ingot in the fire pit. Now the patriarch, the old Brahmin patriarch of that family, said to everyone, "There has been a wrongdoing in this household." So he lined up all of his family members to find out what it was. And of course, the young daughter-in-law had to admit what she had done. So the old patriarch of the family then made arrangements that from there on there would be someone escort her outside when she needed to urinate through the night. But it wasn't long afterwards that the women in the community were seen to be wearing silk and muslin, and members of the community were building new houses or refurbishing or buying livestock. And it seemed that everyone in that community was becoming rich, except for one family. There was one Brahmin who would not allow his wife to urinate on the eternal ritual flame. Now she nagged, she cajoled, she went after him at every opportunity. "Just let me urinate once. With one gold ingot we could live well." But he was adamant that this was not to be so. So while everyone in the community was growing rich, they remained poor. But one day, after a particularly severe nagging by his wife, the Brahmin said to her, "Don't you realize that we are holding this community together, and she scoffed and sneered at him. What do you mean? Do you see, is it you saying that because we're poor and in poverty, that we're doing something? Who do you think you are? But the Brahmin said, well, let us move from here. So they gathered up all of their belongings and they moved to the next village. But before long, in the village that they had left, the competition between the families grew and grew. They were peeing on their ritual fires so much that they almost put out the flames. And then there was jealousy and envy, one against the other. So one day a neighbor set fire to another neighbor's house, and so it went on until there was a conflagration and the whole village burned down. So the Brahmin said to his wife, perhaps you realize now what it is that was happening. So, of course, leaving this story unfinished, the question that's asked of us, what is that something? What is it that the Brahmin did without doing that was said to be that which held the community together? Perhaps this asks us directly the question, what do we do without actively doing or trying? And what does this story mean relative to our inquiry as to what it means to be human or real? What was it about this Brahmin